the car. This is my manifestation story of how I got my dog back in 3 days. So get your popcorn and your pen and paper because this experience I had so many golden nuggets of how to manifest what you want quickly. And I believe it's the whole reason I even had that experience in the first place. So it was a couple of months into the pandemic, and I am from Chicago, Illinois. And so this was Saturday afternoon, downtown Chicago. I was doing Amazon uh, deliveries. I was doing the deliveries for Whole Foods, the grocery delivery. The where I was delivering, I had a truck and I let the hatch open. When I pull up to give the customer their groceries, at the time I was not aware of my gifts, but I knew for some reason I felt um this thief like presence. I felt like someone was going to try to take this customer's groceries. And I had the hatch of my truck open and I'm uh kind of stepping up to the curb to give him his groceries. And the customer tells me that I don't have to leave my car. Like, stay with your car and I'll just get my groceries from you, from the car. And I'm so busy thinking, because if I'm not mistaken, his delivery had alcohol. And I was so busy thinking someone was going to steal his groceries. I told him, no, you stay with your groceries and I will hand you your groceries. And I only had to take like one step from my car to hand him his groceries on the curb anyway. So it wasn't a big deal to me. And I must have been handing him his third or fourth bag of groceries. And next thing you know, I felt my car rubbing up against my thigh. Anyone who knows me knows my dog goes everywhere with me. And as I see my car taking off, it's funny. Like, you think about the things you see in the movies and you're like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you try to run after a car on foot? You can't catch that car. But literally, everything that you do in the movies, I did. Like, I immediately started running after my truck on foot in the middle of the street in downtown Chicago on a Saturday afternoon. It's cars everywhere, and I'm not thinking about that. All I'm thinking is my dog is in the car. And so I literally ran until my legs just wouldn't move anymore. And if that wasn't enough theatrics for you, after I could not run anymore, which I had gotten to like the expressway off of Ohio. This happened on State and Grand in downtown Chicago. If that wasn't enough, when I couldn't run anymore, I literally dropped to my knees in the middle of the street downtown and immediately started praying. Um, and so after that, after the prayer and having my moment of shock or whatever you want to call it, I started calling. I don't even know if I should be saying this on this video, but I immediately started calling all of my family members that I knew had concealed two carries. And man, I'm not even the type of person that believes in carrying guns, but those are the first people I thought to call. and they all showed up. What do they say? Suited and booted. But anyways, they showed up. And again, remember, I said I was not aware of my gifts at the time. But so, normally when your pet, dog, whatever goes missing, you know where to look. Like they've gotten out the backyard or wandered from wherever you were. And so you know what area to look in. But I was carjacked with my dog in the car. So I have no idea where they took my dog in the car. Um, and mind you, it's downtown Chicago, so they're not going to stay in that area. You know, they could have went to the west side, the south side. I mean, Chicago's the third largest city in the country. So I'm just trying to help you all grasp how crazy it was to think that I could find him. Um, and so for whatever reason, this neighborhood came up. I kept seeing this neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. Mind you, I am not from the west side of Chicago. And I knew nothing about this neighborhood. I couldn't even tell you the streets that the neighborhood was on, but I could see it. And for whatever reason, I knew how to get there. And luckily for me, like the people who were a part of helping me look for my dog, like they didn't know or didn't care. They were just down to roll with me to go look wherever. Anyways, we get to that area. We look. I'm going to fast forward because remember, I found him in 3 days. We did not find him that day. But I'm mentioning that area on the west side for a reason, which you'll find out later. So now starting to get into the manifestation tools and how I started to manifest getting my dog back. Now everyone's leaving and I'm headed home with just me and my thoughts. Before that, for the most part, I was so busy just focusing on finding my dog, where the most challenging part is when you're alone with your thoughts. There's not all this outside noise to distract you from worrying. And so I get home, and one of the first things I want to bring up, I can't even take credit for this. I got this from Rhonda Burns, who is the creator of The Secret. And I have all her books, so I don't remember which book it is. I think it's the book where it talks about the secret success stories. But in one of her books, she talks about how her dog, she came up missing, and one of the things that she did was she put food out for her dog, food and water out for her dog every day as if her dog was home. And so that was one of the first things I did. I put his food out, I put water out for him, and as if he was there, with the intention, if he was to come home right now, that's one of the first things I would do is try to feed him. Another key thing that I want to bring up in terms of getting my dog back is, of course, I was worried, just like any pet parent would be. But and he's a little guy. He's 12 pounds. And of course, he has that Napoleon complex where he thinks he's Godzilla, even though he's only 12 pounds. So, one of the things that I worried about was him getting hurt, him running up on a raccoon or a bigger dog and getting hurt, of course, getting hit by a car. One of the key things I have to stress in terms of manifesting what you want is every time something came up that was connected to fear or me not getting the result that I wanted, I countered it with the result I wanted. And what I mean by that is I countered it with visualizing me having my dog, me holding my dog, me doing things with my dog. I immediately countered that negative thought, that thought that would repel me manifesting what it is that I wanted. So that's the first thing that you want to note, because I think that was huge for people to understand that when you're manifesting, when you're drawing in what you want, I think it's natural to sometimes think, man, this isn't going to work, or worry about how it's going to work or how you're going to attract it. I think what's most important, though, is that for one, you tip the scales at least 51%, where you're thinking more about the result that you want, and that you're always countering it. When you catch yourself with a negative thought, you're always countering it with the end result, what it is that you truly want to manifest. Um, so, the next thing that happened that night, connected to me manifesting getting Disco back, that's his name, is and they are not paying me to promote this. I had just recently, but you should, Think Up app. The Think Up app. I had just recently discovered this app, and it's an app. It's called Think Up, where you record what it is that you want to manifest, and well, you record your affirmations, which is usually what you want to manifest, right? And you can play it back. And for me, I got the app to record my affirmations and play them in my sleep. And I don't even think I had used the app yet. Maybe I did. Yeah, I think I did. I had created some things to listen to, but what I did was I created one affirmation in reference to getting my dog back. And that's the only affirmation I let play while I was sleeping, which I was surprised I was even able to sleep because I was so stressed. The other thing I want to say is, for whatever reason, like when it first happened, I had that good cry in the middle of the street or whatever. But after that, I don't know if I was just numb or laser focused, but any other tears I shed in that process were literally tears of joy from me visualizing so intensely getting my dog back. I think it's just showing how I just didn't let myself dip below a certain frequency. One of the things I forgot to mention, when the first and second day of looking for my dog, I had a family member with me that repeatedly said, "Oh, someone has that dog. Like he's cute, he's well behaved. Someone has that dog," and they were saying it like someone had my dog and wouldn't give him back. And normally, in any other circumstance, I would have snapped. Like, why are you here helping me look for my dog if that's what you think, if that's what you believe, if that's the energy you're putting out? But man, I knew the importance of not getting upset, not lowering my frequency. Like, I knew I had to stay at a certain level to get my dog back. So I say that to say, to bring in how even negative outside forces, like tuning them out, and how like what I wanted was such a priority. It was so important that I just, even when people came in on a lower vibration, talking crazy, not in alignment with what it was that I was focusing on attracting, I just tuned that out. And I knew I could not afford to respond on their frequency. So, and because like energetically, I was so um energetically, how can I explain it? I think some of the numbness from what was going on helped me, because it helped me tune that person out and just not react, basically, is what I'm going to say. So, moving on, I listened to the affirmations in my sleep, and on my way to sleep, I literally visualized my dog right next to me so intensely that I could feel his fur on the side of my face. as I was drifting off to sleep. So I would say the mornings were probably the hardest because when you go to sleep and you wake up, it's like you're remembering all over again. Oh, I got carjacked and I don't have my dog. Um, so that the morning times were where I had to work the hardest to recalibrate and just get my mind right. Um, and so one of the things that I did the second day is after I got dressed and everything, and I got in the car that was loaned to me because Disco's goddad loaned me his car to go and look for him. I literally sat in the car and meditated, again, visualizing having my dog back before I even began to look for him. And again, the level of discipline that takes because you really just want to hit the streets running, looking. So, this is another manifestation tip that I am going to stress. I think the meditation and visualizing in not just surface level, like really staying in that meditation until you feel it, until you almost feel like you're asleep, but you're not. And I did that every day before going to look for him, with the exception of the first day. The first day there was no time to do that because I didn't have any alone time. But yeah, so that's probably what the fourth manifestation tip so far. Um, is day two now. I'm in the car. I do my meditation. I'm visualizing getting my dog back, and then I go to look for my dog with a friend. Now, this is where a lot of signs were shown to me, showing me that it was possible to get him back and that I was getting close. So remember I told you that neighborhood, let me think. It was Saturday, Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday. So, yes, I think this is day 2. I might have got day 2 and day 3 mixed up. But anyways, we're gonna say this is day 2 because it doesn't matter. It's about the manifestation tips within the story. But I'm pretty sure this is day 2. Yes, yes. So day 2, I go back to that neighborhood that I told you I saw in my head on the west side. I go to the west side area, and I'm looking, and now in this neighborhood that I had no way of knowing where they took my car, but I'm seeing this neighborhood in my head. All of a sudden, I'm coming across people that tell me they saw my dog, and I knew, like, as people are saying it, it could have been your dog, it could have not been your dog. So as I'm trying not to question it, more confirmation start coming in. My dog, when he starts running and he gets excited, he will hop on his back right leg because he has a little bit of tension in that knee. And someone specifically mentioned that. And that's when I knew, okay, they saw Disco. So now I know I'm barking up the right tree. I started getting synchronicities. I ran into this person where the person that told me he saw Disco hopping on the back right leg. And then I mentioned to him, I think I gave him my name or something, and he said he had a family member with the same name. And I mentioned to him that I was actually named after Erica Kane from this soap opera, All My Children. And he says the family member with the same name as me was also named after Erica Kane. So this may seem totally separate from looking for a dog, but it's not. It's a synchronicity. It's to let you know you're getting warm, you're manifesting, you're barking up the right tree, it's on its way. This is why you're seeing these synchronicities. And so then the next synchronicity was the person I had with me that was helping me look for my dog. Another person that we ran into, or that same person, I'm not sure, had on a shirt from a team that my friend that was helping me look for my dog used to coach. He coached that team. He might have been coaching them currently. But anyways, the person that we ran into, he had on this. Okay, Mike, work with me, okay? It was not. These are synchronicities. This is, keep in mind, you're taking my story and you're fusing it into how you manifest what you want. So while some people may see this as um, not a big deal, a minor synchronicity, some people may see this as minor. It's not. When you start getting those synchronicities, it's to let you know you're getting close, you're getting warm. So from there, that happens. Oh, oh my God. Okay, I'm forgetting a big part about the west side, the neighborhood on the west side, and me telling you all how how I didn't know anything about this neighborhood, but I saw the neighborhood in my head and I knew how to get there. Okay, this is the part I forgot to mention. So the next day, this is the day after the carjacking, I get a call. I'm not sure if I got a call or I called somewhere, but either way, I found out that my car had been found. Not only had my car been found, my car had been set on fire. And where my car was found and set on fire was that neighborhood. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a chill from it before I can even finish what I'm saying. Was the neighborhood that I said to you all in the beginning popped up in my head, and I I had never been to this neighborhood, didn't know exactly where it was, but I saw it in my head and somehow knew how to get there. That is where my car was found, and they had set the car on fire. So now I know this neighborhood that I knew nothing about, but for some reason knew to go look there, that uh I was barking up the right tree. Basically, no pun intended. So now we go back to that area, and I all the things happened that I just told you about, the soap opera names and the team shirt and all of that, and people seeing Disco and telling me that he hopped on one back leg and all of that, which was great because that lets me know he's alive. He somehow got out the car. One other thing I want to bring up about the car being burned up and left on the west side. My dog and I had just came back from Texas, and there was a car wash in Texas that I had a membership at where they gave you free towels. And the towels they gave you had the logo of this car wash on the towels. This car wash only exists in Texas. So, where they found my car burned up on the lot, they had removed my car and towed it. But some of the towels from the Texas car wash were on the ground, and I could see the burn marks where my car was that had been towed. And it was on a lot connected to this building. And so I end up talking to someone in the building. I'm talking to this person to see if they've seen my dog. And they tell me, "Oh, yeah, I saw that car. Yeah, they set it on fire. It was down the street." That's when I immediately knew that that person was connected to the carjacking, because my car was not set on fire down the street. My car was set on fire on that lot, in the of the building that she lived in. You could see the burn marks on the ground, and like I said, the towels from the car wash were also on that lot in the of the building that she lived in. Her building was connected to the lot. So why lie about where the car was? She said she saw the car burned up a couple of blocks down the street. And you, first of all, if a car is burned up on your lot, you're going to recognize it and you're going to mention that, not some car down the street. And two, if the car, wherever the car was set on fire, nobody moved it other than the tow company. And they towed it from that address. That's the whole reason I was there in the first place, because the tow company told me where they found the car and where they towed it from. So I immediately knew that that woman was connected to the carjacking and she knew who did it. But just being straight up, I only cared about finding my dog. I was not thinking about that car. And I was just trying to figure out a way to finesse her to help me find my dog. The whole thing with the car would come later. Um, so now, fast forward, we look. Oh, I'm gonna throw this in there. I don't know how much this played a part in me finding my dog, but I knew that I was very I knew I wasn't grounded as much as I tried to be, but because of what was going on, I knew I wasn't grounded. And so one of the things I did in the middle of us looking for him is I saw this huge tree that only like half my body could only fit around half the tree, and I hugged it. I don't know if that played a part in the manifestation, but hey, I'm giving you all these tips. Take from it what you feel called to in this story. So from there, I look, this is day 2. I don't find Disco. It's day 2 or 3. Um, I don't find him. And I'm going to mention a few things in between here. This is probably going to be a 2-part thing because this is getting long. But one of the things that I felt like was meant to be revealed to me in that experience was how the people in my life reacted to my crisis. It allowed me to see people's selfishness, people who didn't even have a dog, so wouldn't even understand my grief, but still showed up for me as a friend, and people who were there simply because they enjoyed watching me suffer. Yeah. It was a whole ensemble of characters there, good and bad. And one of the things that stood out to me was a friend that I called because we went to high school with another friend, I would say associate, but we were cool in high school, and I knew he was a Chicago police officer. And so, I don't know anything about looking for a stolen car or being carjacked. So I'm just trying to think outside the box and utilize my resources. And I knew that this guy that I went to high school with, that was a Chicago police officer, I knew that he lived on the west side when we went to high school. And I think usually police officers tend to patrol areas that they kind of live in. At least that's what I thought. So I didn't have his number, and I reached out to the other friend that I went to high school with that I knew was good friends with him to get this guy's contact information. And I think he gave it to me. But one of the things that stood out to me was this is one of the people who definitely knew how much my dog meant to me. And I'm literally outside in the car looking for my dog, and he starts to talk to me about his issue with this guy and how they don't speak anymore. And again, that numbness. Now, had I not understood the importance of staying on a certain frequency to attract getting my dog back, and also kind of being numb because of what was going on, I probably would have snapped and told him how inconsiderate and selfish it was to sit here and think that I wanted to listen to your beef from however many years ago with this person. All I care about is looking for my dog. Like, hello, it may not be a crisis to you, but I'm in the middle of a crisis. But I'm mentioning this to stress the importance of not letting all these other energies bring you out of that law of attraction frequency, attracting what it is that you want. So it's like in the background, I wanted to have that reaction, and I'm thinking like, this is so selfish and inconsiderate. Like I'm sitting here suppressing this grief to put my game face on and look for my dog, and you think I want to hear about this little petty high school whatever, right? But again, I tuned that out. I didn't respond to that, and I focused as much as I could on just staying in alignment with every time I felt myself do something that I felt would put me further away from getting what I wanted, which was my dog back. I would counter it with visualizing what I wanted. And so next, after that person, eventually I end up talking. I think I talked to him, talked to the guy that's the police officer that I went to high school with. And this guy had the most selfish, nastiest reaction to me simply asking like for some guidance, or hey, can you keep an eye out for my car? Like, cause I'm trying to find my dog, or keep out. Now, mind you, I asked police officers that I didn't even know. I'm giving them flyers looking for my dog, and they were like, okay, we'll keep an eye out for Buddy. But this person that I knew personally and went to high school with, he had the nastiest, like, shrug your shoulders, like, and, like type attitude about it. And again, I'm explaining this because I'm telling you about all the different personalities that I dealt with on this journey, because I think I was being shown, the importance of not letting people knock you off your square when you are looking to attract slash manifest something, right? So even though, like, again, in my background, that reaction that I suppressed, I wanted to read him for filth. Like, what did I do to you that you couldn't at least show an ounce of compassion, but I knew I couldn't afford to do that. I had to stay vibing as high as I possibly could under the circumstances. I just wanted to throw that tidbit in there because I think this was so crucial as I came, because there were even people who I know sincerely wanted me to find my dog, sincerely, had compassion for what I was dealing with. But they may be glass half empty people, where I have labeled myself an annoying optimist. I am a glass half full person. And so for people who may have wanted me to find my dog, but still just thought this is impossible. How are you going to find this dog? You don't know where they took your dog. So yeah, the next part to this story is going to be me talking about how I got my baby back. Dang, you know what? Okay, before I get to that, I want to mention one last thing about tuning people out. And because this next part to the story, this is going to definitely have to be broken up, will be about when I got disco back. But another energy that tried to enter, and it was a lot of this, was when I first was looking for him, people were telling me to post on social media that he was missing. And I was very hesitant to do that because, people natural reaction, even when they mean well, is to say, oh, I'm so sorry this happened, blah, 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 blah. And I just think that's like some of the worst energy you could put on this type of situation. Don't feel sorry for me. Feeling sorry for me or saying I'm so sorry this happened is a energy of me not getting my dog back. And so I didn't want a huge group of people putting that type of energy towards the situation. So for me, In my law of attraction manifesting mindset, I just thought, no, this is not a good idea to post on social media that my dog is missing, because even when people mean well, they're going to say things that put you further away from what it is you're trying to attract. But on day two, I think, on day two, I think um, I had some people talk me into doing it. And so I did it. I posted on social media, but this is how I did it. When I put the post up, I asked people, I said, please, instead of saying, you're so sorry this happened, or oh, this is terrible or so sad or whatever, I said, please, if you choose to comment with, I'm so happy you got Disco back, or I know he'll be home tonight. And like, luckily, um most of the people who comment respected my wishes and they played along. And man, Napoleon Hill talking about that mastermind alliance, I'm getting a chill before I even say it, I was creating a mastermind alliance out of social media and didn't even realize it, because as I may be telling this story now with more of a clear head, but at the time, I'm in and out of trying to do my best to stay focused, level headed, find my dog, and severe grief that I'm pushing off the grief because I know I can't afford to be in that energy. Um, so I say that to say, we're going to go, that's a good nugget in terms of manifesting, saying that if you can get a mastermind alliance, if there are people that you know are truly on your team that will help you speak into existence what you want, man, get them on board. Because I thank every single person who commented with what I asked them, because I do think that that helped put extra sauce on it, right? So I say that to say, well, I say that to say what I said, but also I want to add, as a result of me putting it on social media, this was another energy that came into the mix. People who, and like I said, anyone who knows me knows my dog goes everywhere with me. I love my dog. I'm saying that to say that there's not one person that was a friend or even an associate that couldn't have possibly known how heavily this impacted me and how painful it would be for me to lose my dog. So there were certain people that were reaching out, not out of concern, not to help me look for my dog, but for gossip, to be entertained with the story of what happened and how I got carjacked and how and for one, I couldn't afford to re-trigger myself and relive that whole experience. And there was no time to give them that. I looked for my dog every day until I was about to drop and barely had energy to drive home. I went home, sleep with the affirmations that I mentioned earlier, of him coming back, shower, rinse, repeat. Like, there was no time to talk and re-trigger myself by reliving that experience. But I remember I had someone call me, and this particular person that called me, it was probably one of the few people I answered the phone for, because I actually thought, because this person had a dog and I thought was an animal lover, this might be one of the people that would come out and help me look and just understood what I was going through. But instead, this person was simply calling me to get the inside scoop. And again, like, a natural reaction would have been to flip on this person, because this is someone that I know had to know what I was dealing, how I was feeling. Some people that don't have a pet wouldn't have understood, but this person would have understood. And again, I cannot stress the importance of me not allowing myself to get into that energy with him, because it wasn't about him. It was about all these negative energies trying to come in and pull me out of alignment, pull me out of getting closer and closer in alignment with what it was that I was bringing in, which was my dog. So I'm going to stop there, take a break. This is going to be broken up into at least a two-part story anyway. And the second or third half, I don't know how I'm going to chop this up, is going to be how I got disco back and more golden nuggets of manifesting. And I hope that you all understand the purpose in this. Like, I want people to realize like how impossible to most people this would seem, you know? Um, hold on. How impossible to most people this would seem. Like, I had no idea where they took my car and my dog, but that I did not let that discourage me from looking. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now, and then I'll do a part two, three, however I end up chopping this up. But if you appreciate or felt any specific manifestation tips, golden nuggets that you feel like are like kind of just rang a bell for you in terms of whatever it is that you're trying to attract for yourself, comment below, let me know, like it up, and yeah, just let me know if this resonates for you or not, because I really felt called to share this story because I felt like I went through this experience to show me how to lock in and truly manifest, and I want to share that story.